light. I saw her just beaming, the light in her eyes, the light in her smile, and she sort of roly-polied around the world. She had a little Morris Minor sedan, and she was a musician, of course. That's why I love music so much. She used to play the piano, and she'd play it in hospitals, she'd play it in asylums. She'd go around playing her wonderful piano whenever people would put up with it. So this one's for Shadrach's grandma, because grandmother wisdom is wonderful wisdom. On that thing called the internet, there's a group called the 12 Grandmas, and they do the grandmother wisdom, which is to respect not just each other but the elements we're made of. The stardust, the creek waters, the trees that lean over the top of us and gossip about us, all those little leaves up there talking while we're watching. And grandmother wisdom is old enough to be an elder and wise enough to be respected from a distance. Some people never get to be a grandma, but those who do lead people who respect and love them. An example is our dear friend Deb Akers. Deb left us last year, and her beloved husband made a book of all her works, and the second poem in the book is for her grandmother. And if it's okay, I'm going to read you about her grandmother, because grandmas are the thing. And technology is a subsidiary theme.
And something you trip over a lot.
Bunch of Luddites. Survivors to the bone. Grandma wasn't the last of that dying breed of sturdy pioneer women who raised 8 kids, ploughed the farm, rocked the cradle, braved the storms, to keep all fed and clothed, alive and together till next planting time. Says she was just plain lucky. After all, only lost one young, living to see all the others raised up and out and far away of that farmed out Indiana dirt, away to Fable's southern promised land, to live and see her 70 descendants solid roots in Texas soil, surviving, enduring, digging in to raise still another crop, one more generation of small damp hands clutching at her apron's hem, to wobble up, to take first steps, to stand and walk alone. No, grandma wasn't the last one, no. To all those sons and daughters, to all their daughters and sons, survivors to their very bones, she passed it down from hand to hand, homemade. We're family, you and me, she'd say, and hold you close and whisper near, no matter what, we're all family here. She spread that love like fresh made butter, warm and sweet on every soul, her larder never emptying, never running dry, no one making do with crumbs, the whole loaf, an ample lap, her heart had room for all. And on the day she died, we cried, but still we keep that love inside. Long live grandmas. Do you want to talk about yours, Shadrach? Okay. Well, the beautiful thing about grandmas, of course, is that they're largely gone as we grow. So we see them with angelic distance. This is another one she wrote called I Seldom Dream of Angels. Everyone tonight will get an angel book just to remember this incredibly special night. I seldom dream of angels, but even when I do, their faces glow with passion, not bloodless beatitude. I seldom dream of angels, a dream instead of dragon's wings, a silent song the darkness sings of hands that heal and comfort. I seldom dream of angels, do not ever hope to meet one. A winged grandiosity of light makes the darkness even deeper. I seldom dream of angels, but want secretly to be one, with touch so firm and gentle that it takes all pain away. I seldom dream of angels, but an angel dreamt of me. She dreamt me strong, she dreamt me free, she dreamt me an epiphany. Deb Akers, remembering.
Thom mentioned grandmothers. Oddly enough, it's the grandchildren that are on my mind. I think we need an 11th Amendment to the Bill of Rights, allowing those of us over 30 to slap those of us under 30 who refer to themselves as old school. That's one of those overused expressions, usually used by people that really don't have a lot of business using it. I kind of went off on Facebook this afternoon in a crotchety old person sermon, and I'm prematurely old and prematurely senile. Anyway, I remember when KFC was Kentucky Fried Chicken. I hear they can't legally call it that anymore for some reason, because apparently it's now Kentucky Fried Mutant. And that just doesn't sound as appetizing. And they seem to use expressions like chicken, like CHIK''N, because somehow that is still okay legally. I wondered why they stopped calling things chicken. I remember when Kentucky Fried Chicken was actually good. Oh, Colonel Sanders must just be rolling over in his grave, as they say. I remember when music television was music television, instead of the fake reality sitcom douchebag factory it's become. They used to play music videos, and some of those were actually like entertaining and good. I remember when fat little children put in beauty pageants were an abomination as opposed to a popular television program, and when no one knew what a Kardashian was. I still think those, I don't know, I still think a lot of these people are produced in a factory somewhere. I don't know where. If I did, that's where I'd tell North Korea to aim its nukes. Oh, North Korea's threatening us, right? Oh, and journalism is dead. That's why I get all my news from The Onion, since they don't care any more for facts than the rest of news does, but at least they don't pretend otherwise. You can get the real news without all the pretense of depressing facts. According to that news, and I think there's at least some accuracy in this part, North Korea is threatening us. Do we really need to repeat the Korean War? Don't they know the sequels are never as good as the original? And who is this fat little kid in, you know, some starving country who thinks he's... I mean, his grandfather was considered the remedial class even by the other dictators of his day. Stalin and Mao could barely stand Kim Il-sung. Kim Jong-il was even more pathetic. And now there's this fat, obnoxious, piggy-eyed child who believes he has the right to command nuclear weapons? Really? It's hard to stay optimistic about the future of the earth and humankind and all that. I do my best. I remember that while the crappiest television in the world is currently being made, the best television that we've ever had is also being made. I remember that for every Kentucky Fried Mutant, there's still a Popeyes. For every Fish McBite that gets eaten, and every hot mess, oh God, that's the grossest looking thing. Have you seen it? It looks like it's covered in snot. I know technically that's Monterey Jack cheese. It's a burger with onion rings on top of it and enough cheese that it looks like someone blew their nose all over it during an allergy attack. Hot mess. This does not look edible. And since it comes from a guy with a freaky clown head, I kind of doubt it. I don't trust guys with freaky clown heads. Children, remember, clowns are evil. Do not trust them. Especially when they try to sell you food. And the whole concept of a Fish McBite, that still disturbs me. And I'm not easily disturbed. I'm easily disturbing. Anyway, as much fodder as we're given for rants about how much better things were when we were whatever given age. As much as we talk about how good the old school was, it's time to teach the new school not to eat mutants and snot-covered burgers and to ignore Kardashians and honey boo-boos and to watch Game of Thrones instead. And to read, well, more importantly, to read Game of Thrones instead. I can't watch the show because that would qualify as a spoiler right now. Read the book. Eat something that doesn't have legally mandated initials. And don't talk about the old school until you've taught the new one. Thank you.
So we're remembering Shadrach's grandmother. She left last week. And this is one from Troika. And it's about how sometimes you look for someone and they're not there anymore. Have you ever done that? A grandparent or a great-grandparent, they're just not there. Look though you might, she is not there. Not under the bed at midnight with the possibility of spirits and that feeling of eeriness that comes with late hours and memories of actual endings. Not in the kitchen from 25 years ago with its long formica countertop that was never replaced, reflecting small shadows of all those fast-moving pasts. Not in the photo of the snowy day wearing the coat that looks so familiar could still be hanging in some closet of good feelings. Not in the old red bottle of Persian wood from the 50s. It smells like Houston on familiar roads on hot days carrying out minutes. And she isn't in your videotape from Christmas 1983, although it catches a few of her unintended gestures. And she isn't in the old green swivel chair that sat clearly in the middle of everything for oh so long. And she isn't even in the sounds of the names she called you growing up, although hearing them brings back some of what she provided. Or in the regrets that flood forward if you let them. Because so much of life is done wrong. And yeah, shake it up. Bob works in mud and earth, so this is try to explain to young people that the poem they're sitting on is a painting, that the mud underneath your feet is an act of creation, constantly changing, and you're welcome to paint in mud if you feel so inclined. They're the colors of Austin mud dug up from the earth beneath your feet right now. So, artists of the future, paint your earth now. This is about that. Outbreaks of happiness have been reported in public spaces. Do not be alarmed. People have been seen laughing inside Bergstrom Airport for no apparent reason, and in coffee shops too. Even fines and regulations don't seem to stop them. Flash mobs are gathering. First meditating inside the Capitol Dome, next laughing at the airport. TSA resigned en masse. CIA, FBI, APA follow in quick succession. With happy people, no crimes occur, and terrorist insecurity became a joke. Comedians retired, there was no further need for them. Armies dissolved when they found out the joke was on them. There's no need to fight anyone when the whole world is laughing. Belly laughter erupted worldwide, with pranks spoofing all seriousness. Children no longer feared school, work, nor future unemployment. Adolescents no longer felt unloved nor dispossessed. Elders came out of retirement homes laughing in wheelchairs. We all relaxed. We took deeper breaths. Free at last! Free at last! Prosperity over austerity. No need for guns or wars or arguments or boredom. Laughter, life, loving erupted everywhere. Join your local happiness response team. Shake it up, baby. Shake it up. Yeah, it's in there. Let's talk. Can we talk? I mean, directly? You talk, I listen. I talk, you listen. a conversation. No need for your text or tweet, nor to fill in forms, nor invent a useless, duplicitous bureaucracy. Just you and I to eye, voice to ear, direct. Here we are. Such little time to speak, be heard and receive. Primal equality between you and I means directness we both need. Forgive me if I ask you personal questions, but are we not all in human skin? End to beginning, vice and virtue versa. There's no time to waste tonight. We don't need third parties, forms filled, applications, permits, licenses, distracting mechanisms. Let us see, hear, listen and act. Direct as breath, dangerously human. May we unfold the origami of our hearts, art, to see what flowers fill our windy gardens. Please speak your truth. You know I'll listen.
Tonight is going to start out about death. That's not where it should end. You walk in your life, you see people come in front of you, you see all the different walls that line their way around you, and you think past them. You think to a canvas or a page and you write it down because you go past them. You see the walls of a cafe, you step outside, you have the mic there. Sometimes it's right for people to go behind us and you step past them too. The issue, as Thom put it so well, is risk. What are you willing to do to put yourself that you take care of and that you love out there? It's a wild place. Eggs fly through the air. Guitar sounds linger on the night. And we're going out there. Sometimes one mic isn't enough, and you need the ears of the world to talk to, because what's inside you is bigger than your body. And you just keep putting it out there, because in the truth of the matter, what is it you think you have to risk? Identity, loved ones, people and places that are passed down the road. We are going forward into some place that the light is starting to rise. And if it sounds like there's a tinge to my voice, it's only because it breaks when I put it out of me. My lips tremor. My soul shakes. Out to you, and sunlight sets on our world, and just maybe we'll never come back to it. This is a song of going into the sunset to see the day that is on the other side.
G. G string. String. This music you're about to hear, incline towards. It calls. Word boats carry orchestras. Morning raga breakfasts. Noon concertos. Siesta sestinas. Evening oratorios. Silver threads of sounds link us. we hum to music collectively. Elevator adolescence remembrances, bands antique still tour with their greatest misses. Something still sings to vibrations within. Call to respond, we all rise to national anthem. Applaud prodigies, those whose genius brings tears and smiles simultaneous. All the while air carries these sweet-scented melodies, these happy harmonies. Words stew stirs, claim no original thoughts, recombine ancestral tunes. Skies fill with circles, folk wise and foolish, dance as your body, think demands thought. We nod, betrayed by our responses, all these sounds and only words to speak of them. Underneath night, stars sing to each other, distances die, light has news and music soundtrack. Listen deeper. This music that you hear, only hear. If these senses lose their poignancy, know outside the fences of our breathing is where alacrity lives. A flow of waves dropped me off tonight upon this beach of time, and then took off all my angel wings. So if I sing of lost horizons, it's only ever deep that claims me while I'm shallow on a string of time. Worlds within swirl around and song reaches in to the very core of all you see. We are particle consciousness. The rest of fabric painted on the universe vibrates at different rates and frequencies, so we can only ever see the tips of icebergs. And freedom is only ever where we amble and perambulate, tracks veer off into a wilderness. We rest secure, the little that we know, less we hear, smile when the signal's clear, enough to find us all open and receiving. I used to believe all was possible in poetry. Spellcasting might net bright fish, drag them in from celestial shores. Knowing less but rowing more, watching wakes of bigger ships, grab the whales of huge thoughts, catch slim dolphins, playing each to each. Exotic lands now need riots of old empires, dictatorships of oil. Less where to go than where not to travel. Mafia in Moscow, counterfeit one China, Arab Spring or cold English winter. Tourists of new thought kidnap the small ransoms. Everybody wants to be Somalian. Pirates of the Caribbean, buccaneers swashbuckling. Those are drones, not mosquitoes. Warships park around uninhabited islands, Malvinas to Japan. Destination less nirvana than a limbo of lost intentions, and limbo's been abolished again. Soon the new Pope will speak Latin. Scratch Rome from my destination. Holy Roman Empire, Latrin. Yes. This begins before. Turn watches off. Cast minds on. Think fly fishing. Chopsticks, Karate Kid. Movies, parallel soundtracks, visual days. LA or Las Vegas. New York or Longview. Where is your present paradise? Cornwall or Huddersfield? Snowstorm or Texas sunshine? Staycation or drought water rations? Still wanting moon wings? Still wanting flying cars? Still wanting unconditional love? Have to do replaces free choice. Limited options replace freedom. It is my belief that all belief lies. All faith may be fraud. Before that, this. Before this, something else. To define limits is to limit. Outside this cafe, wild birds still sing. Primal, cave, fire, still resonates within.
I'm going to do a song with no bad words in it, I think. I was just explaining to Alice my theory that I need to create a production of Henry IV where you play Falstaff. And then you express a remarkably Falstaffian thought. All belief lies, said Thom. I like not such grinning honor as Sir Walter hath. Anyway, This is a weird little song about Aleister Crowley that I wrote some years ago. And I'm gonna need a beat. I'm not gonna, yeah, not old maraca thing will work too, but I need this. Well, just anyone here, clap your hands, give me this. You sure do think rather highly of yourself, Mr. Crowley. Look what you did to Ron Hubbard and LaVey. Oh, bless you, darling, for leaving me your number. But your sons still don't add up to this mother's names. You don't need to laugh at the whole world's pain, Mr. Crowley. I don't believe you've attended to your own. Take heart, my dear, in the face of sin and evil. You got another date with your lover down the road. Beware of the fruit of the knowledge snake, Mr. Crowley. As it's mainly when we're tripping we may fall. You don't need to pave all the hidden paths to the holy. These brilliant children are already living along. So rise with the light of the morning star, Mr. Crowley. Stay bent to the will of the gods, your soul unchained. It's not polite to make fun of the dead, Mr. Crowley. You got another life of laughter on the way. Well done, boys. Thank you.
You can see that flag behind us. That's the Russian flag. And oh, got your attention now, eh? No, it's that flag behind us. What sort of flag is that?
Team America.
Come on. Okay.
Austria.
Okay, it's in the poem. Here we go. There was some. That's a. Yeah, well, yeah. Tim Tams. Australia is actually made of chocolate. Cadbury's colonial mostly. Brown rivers, flooded creeks, creaking trees, mud, earth paints. Plants indigenously processed into edibles, but I digress. My beloved has a sweet tooth, actually many sweet teeth, and she petitioned young Bob Mutt to bring Tim Tams from my family. Bourneville was the code, but rare and precious as independence. He left his tools of trade and packed these totems and tokens across oceans, so she might smile and stash midnight treats into the harsh art of life to soften demands of time and energies, but I digress. Last night at the Green Man Cafe, she shared sweet surrender chocolate mousse Tim Tams to Texans, artists and musicians who had not yet known that pleasure. Empty packet later, dentist bills higher, smiles as wide as crocodiles. Bob had made the art of kindness generosity, fed and fueled by our family, adding to diminution of distance, edification of sweetness, creation of connection via sharing of chocolate. But I guess I digress. You may have seen North Korea is going to invade Austin. Well, here's my answer to North Korea. It's official. We have invaded. Peace decals are being dropped from drones all over North Korea this evening, along with necessary food items. Civilians were seen picking up the bright yellow food parcels everywhere they landed. It costs less to feed than to kill civilian populations, and direct action is necessary, as military leaders have starved folk of news, truth and food for far too long. Fresh fruits and vegetables with organic seeds for future harvest were dropped along the DMZ. A blanket sharing of resources softened the responses. Of course the food shipments were labelled with their sources. Of course folk had to be surreptitious about this new Marshall Plan. It reminded the elderly of the Berlin airlift, and success lay in feeding civilian populations long starved by military dictatorships. No yellow cluster bombs or mines or weapons, just food, seeds, tools, just as every third world needs to dig itself out of penury. Eventually, gratitude became the dominant attitude, feeding peace, feeding folk who need it. Ow! Are your shadows larger than your light? You ever walk along and look at your shadow? Anyone? Ever looked at their shadow? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares about cities? Who cares about shadows? Who cares? Time ages. Farewells compound us. Those left barely remember those who left. Partial to light, our shadows grow. We cast more as the cast diminishes. Shadow plays with us, following light source. Does it grow as we decline? Does darkness hold the wisdom we ignore? No one returns to deny, to dispute the too few evidences of truth, whose shape and form follows ours, and when we turn to see, slim thin our lifeline measuring. What we ask is this: do we make more shadows than our speech, or reach into the depths of us by silences? Dead empty, our life sentences complete. We will only know you tonight when you choose to speak. It counts, sitting on a beach, counting particles of sand, looking up at night skies, counting stars again, watching original time slip by counting seconds, books you own, events you almost participate in, lists, inventories, places you have visited, eventually recounting polls a toll of time and energy, purpose and intention. You ask why and which direction, not obvious from intrinsic bliss, which is the only reason to embrace all irrational impulses. Hold them close as personal adventures. Leave your home, go out on the open road, sit down at peace, and count those stars again. They have changed configurations, they have changed constellations. It's up to us tonight to follow their bright example in.
Again, Full English Cafe.
Yay!
Where beauty and art comes from the heart. Speaking of artists, we have some little artists out there. Paint. Yourself a blue sky, draw me in beside you. Together we can watch the sunrise. Paint yourself a blue sky, draw me in beside you. always be true. I'll always be there for you. All I'm really asking and all I'm really saying is I'd love to be a part of your love. All I'm really asking and all I'm really saying is I'd love to be a part of your love. I'm applying for your love from heaven above. Like an angel, you burn through my heart, like the stars in the sky, and shine in our eyes, your love in our hearts forevermore. I'll be your friend, your companion, I'll love you forever, forever. You're welcome in my heart. You can count on my love, I'll always be true, I'll always be there for you. All I'm really asking and all I'm really saying is I'd love to be a part of your love. All I'm really asking and all I'm really saying is I'd love to be a part of your love. La da da dee da, la da dee da, la da da dee da, la da dee da, la da dee da, la da dee da. Singing and dancing, working and playing, living God's love from heaven above. We can count on your love, you're awesome and true. Forever, Father Abba, we'll always love you. All we're really asking and all we're really saying is we'd love to be a part of your love. All we're really asking and all we're really saying is we'd love to be a part of your love. Thank you. Here's a song about a window, please. Thank you. Song to pick up your blues when you get those dirty window blues. Window ranger blues in town, smiling on the windows he's found. He'll wash away those blues, brighten up your view. Sure will be happy when the ranger comes to town. So when you're wondering what to do and you got those dirty window blues, just let the ranger smile on your windows and you smile now. There you go.
Yeah.
Window ranger blues in town, shining up the windows he's found. He comes from the good old school, those hard knocks and the golden rule. He cleans your windows so you can see your dreams come true. So when you're wondering what to do, and wanna see your dreams come true. Just let the ranger shine up your windows for you. Shine 'em up now. There you go. The other day the ranger came into town. He was looking kinda lonesome and feeling down. He said, hey you, what do I do? I got those dirty window blues. You see a ranger gets dirty windows sometimes too. She said, hey you, don't be so blue. I wanna share a dream with you. I know a ranger gets dirty windows sometimes too. I know a ranger wants good loving, just like I do. So when you're through with feeling blue, I want some good loving too. Just come on over and I'll share a sweet dream with you. Come on, boo, I'm through. Been a while since a ranger's been in town. My windows sure are dirty and I'm feeling down. I hope he shows up soon to wash away my blues. Sure will be fine when the ranger comes to town. Sure will be smiling
young.
Sounds like silence.
Hey, kind of that.
You know, I didn't realize you were normally
I was just, you know me, I'm always just waiting. Let's see your, do you have a kerchief there? Use it. Just one rubber popping on the microphone. I know what I'm gonna.
Use a handkerchief and a USB cable to cover the microphone, so maybe we can deal with the popping. Anyone have any better ideas? Could you hear my no? That's it. Like magic. It's magic, guys. Really prefer to have the gigantic PA out here. I was just running with the time I had, so fast my feet couldn't keep up. 20 stories looks much higher from up here, but it's all just a drop in the cup. From what I remember, we started late one night, but this time was different than the last. You took more than I was willing to give. The ground is coming up fast. The ground is coming up so fast. This day I am not afraid. The war that I fight between the walls that I've made. With fists clenched and headstrong, I'll stare down these days. The ground is coming up fast. The ground is coming up so fast. Bless you. But I could lie here longer if I don't say a word. Maybe no one will notice the chaos. If I look straight ahead and keep my eyes on the game, we could figure with a coin and a toss. But the time that I spent burning my brain is caught up with me in the end. And If I had it in this life to do over again, I'd run as fast as my feet could stand. To see is to be blind in this world of light. Pain is what brings us back. Does the ground, it grows slowly closer to me now. It's my sight that helps me to see black. To this day I'm not afraid. The war that I fight between the walls that I've made, fist clenched and headstrong, I'll stare down these days, and the ground is coming up so fast. The ground is coming up so fast. To this day I am not afraid. The war that I fight between the walls that I've made, the fire that freezes the one that enslaves, and the ground is coming up so fast, and the ground is coming up so fast. The ground is coming up so fast now. The ground is coming up so fast.
Huh? No, I want to.
One of these here. I find his music very inspirational, and I love going right after him because it always rings true for me. It makes me think of things that tend to be really powerful and really strong and really dramatic. So I'll do what I was going to say. I like it doing it with him, but I'll do it without him this time. You may look into my eyes and see nothing. You may look deep into my eyes and see nothing. It is not death that you see. It is life. It is scared. It is timid. It is afraid. Those are what it means to be alive. If I look into your eyes, I see joy. I see bliss. I see hope. I see sometimes suffering, and all I want to do is run to it and put your eyes in my eyes and let there be the ephemeral oneness. In a sense, it is not the eyes that matter. It is the eyelids. It is the lashes. It is the cheeks. It is the face, bones, shoulders, arms, legs, feet, earth, trees, buildings, behind, adjacent, transcending all that is empty. We, the undeniable fact, are here. And the limbs do fall off, the eyelashes do fall out, the hair goes away, and we yet mysteriously continue to be here. The thrill is to see others who do not see you. Perhaps all my works have been that. Paintings hanging on walls, watching in people's rooms. Might it be that that is what poetry is? The sound that hears words and has no need to speak them. Waiting, so well said, so many years ago, that affected so much of us, is. There are times to run away and hide, and there are times to run into the faces of others and feel joy. It is the trees that sing tonight. And they sing in the quiet stillness.
These are offlines. So here we go, clickety clack on the keyboard. With opposable thumbs. They call it social media. For all the sedentary people, serendipity, yippity dippity, all alone in front of a screen. Sleepless of junk food, headphoned all the long day. They call it social media. Clickety clack, click, click, clickety clack. And a 14-year-old boy falls in love with a photo and lines on the screen presented by a 45-year-old man. So this is social media. All the children are in separate rooms and the olds are preoccupied with soap and murder on giant TVs. I used to socialize in person. I learned to perceive in real life 3D, to know something about a person by the gait of their walk. I used to have conversations in public places. But now I sit alone with me knee pad and me mini pod and me mini phone, and I'm okay because I have thousands of friends.
One of every kind. Every now and then I get to thinking, a flash, light bulb over my head, dream of pearl wisdom. Happily it gets forgotten every morning. And I proceed as if it never happened. Groundhog Day, every day. Deja vu. Deja vu. Past lives. Past lives. Synchronicity. Serendipity. Compound to dive me deeper, drive me fast. Realization is simple and obvious to all of us. We are transparent. We are original and unique. We're all here because we've got a lot to learn. These revelations ensure me from future shock. when all that is known becomes just another dewdrop, evaporating upon my Texas drought morning mind lawn. Ostara, Istra, Oistra, Ostron, Osos Aphrodite, Astereth Astarte, Hathor Kale, Persephone, Demeter Ishtar, Ostros, Asos, Reverend Breed, De Temporum Rationone, Justapata April, Astara Saxon goddess of dawn, Suna Sol, Cybele Attis, Lepus under Orion, Astra Henia, awakening, personal growth, spring, green, full moon, eggs, fertility, change, matrix for the dogs, and for us, implants at the back of the skull. All ready for lost dogs, an elderly Alzheimer's patient's skin implants, instead of ankle bracelets for those on conditional parole, sex offenders restricted to safety zones like invisible dog fences. Folk will wear their appliances more than white earbuds and cellular additives. This time within skin, so all are programmed. Science never retreats. Technology has perfected phones, TVs, computers as multimodal GPS tracking devices. This call may be monitored, this poem may be monitored for content. All your calls, your texts, your signals are tracked and traced instantly. So why not wear your surveillance apparatus? Be the first one on your block to be connected to the matrix. You can get them in the fast lane at the airports. Join the grid so everybody knows who you are, what you do, and where you're going to. In fact, your whole life can now be mapped out for you. Just follow orders and robo-voice will drive your robo-car, program your robo-viewing habits, and map your robo-life so you never have to make a personal decision again. Fraud! Fraud! That moon is a fraud. I thought poets owned the moon. Scientists and astronauts dispute us. They land moon boots on her face and fly away after planting an American flag. Never even return for a moon base. Oh, what a disgrace. I fly there in my dreams. I sit upon the moon and I watch Earth from a dark space distance. We are blue, and it's true, there is no water on the moon, so I return by morning light. Moon is asleep, her orbit bright, dimmed by old soul's impertinent rise. I could dream each and every night as solitary moon takes her flight. No one owns anyone. It's all right. Moon is yours tonight.
You know what's really sad? Speaking of the moon, if the Earth passes away somehow and we fuck it up massively, only one man's name in the vacuum of the moon is likely to survive and become immortal. There is a plaque on the moon, I forget what the exact text of it says, but the man whose name is on it is Richard Milhouse Nixon. So even if all of our greatest writers and all of our greatest leaders and all of our greatest painters and all of our greatest musicians somehow evaporate with the Earth, on that moon remains the name of Richard Milhouse Nixon. And maybe some future generation of aliens may find themselves attempting to figure out what that name means. and they'd never know. The names of Caesar, Shakespeare, John Lennon, Vladimir Lenin, who else?
Chupacabra.
Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, even Chupacabra, any of that.
Very important.
Might not be remembered through the extended future. But because his name is on a plaque on the moon, somehow the name of Richard Milhouse Nixon might survive. Does that qualify as an injustice? Damn, my cigarette went out. For the best. Now, this is going to be PG-13. Only because of few words, not because of content, mind you. But I'm gonna do this song because I ain't done it in a long time. And we're being broadcast on the internet. So, this is my gospel song. If anyone can play with it, because you came close with the... You actually did something with the Crowley thing that worked. No one's ever done that before. That worked. But if anyone wants to try to play, fantastic.
I love you, Julian.
I'm gonna do this thing anyway. God forgive the ones who choose to fuck with me. God forgive the folks who should know better. God forgive the lawyers who don't know the law. Is more about the spirit than the letter. God forgive the vampires and psychopaths. God forgive the politicians for their faults. So before I send them right on home to you, I sure hope you will forgive them, 'cause I won't. God forgive the ones who use philosophy, explaining why you need to keep us in pain. God forgive the preachers and the demagogues who keep our people blind using your name. God forgive the ones so willfully ignorant that they won't rise above it or take a stand. So before I send them all your holy way, Lord, I pray you can forgive them, 'cause I can't. God forgive Republicans and Democrats. God forgive these chicken shits and thieves. One more time, I'm begging for your mercy, Lord, for I put these filthy sinners on their knees. Maybe then they'll pray with all sincerity, say they're sorry just in the nick of time. But if so, quite frankly, I don't give a damn, 'cause it's your job to forgive them, God, not mine. So listen up, purveyors of unrighteousness. This old world won't take any more of your sins. Listen up, your rapture's coming closer now. Our race has run your road to its end. We don't have another minute left to spare. We won't lie down for further abuse. So before you find out whose religion's right, maybe some God will forgive you, but
I refuse.
Finally.
Hello all. How do you do today? It's a wonderful, wonderful weather here in Texas. Because, you know, in Russia it's still covered with snow. Can you imagine that? Everything is in snow. Да, Севонька, сейчас прочитаю я стихотворение. Well, I'm going to read one poem. During Russian nights, I now speak another language, recitating the verses out of the big, dark green volume, with the letters distorted, unrecognizable, redirecting the vectors of the winds from the ones that turn the rusty weather vane to the southwest, to those that turn this iron rooster with an arrow in its clawed grasp to the northeast. The tree grasped as it was brushed against the fleece. The loud grackles stained the sky. In the poor ceramic, I try to compose the impossible potion. With the dignity of the desperation, I stubbornly try to convey Russian thought, which is me, which is wrestling in me, elusive, resilient, and rebounding. About the country you could not care about, in the tongue that those who cared about the country never cared to know. The willows are singing, the wayward contralto is rolling down the marble staircase, until the quickly unraveling sound stumbles upon the end of the staircase, and this is the end of the sound. Thank you very much.
Haven't you ever seen coloured people before? I know I appear white, but white is not a colour. Blue is a colour. Picasso's period, emotional as music. Sky blue, impossible optimism, contradicted by chemtrails, vapor trails. Sea blue, layers and layers of depths of truth. All babies' eyes are blue to begin. Theme in blue, jazz composes us. Blue Danube, a river of Strauss. Blue Bayou, Roy Orbison lives here. Blue Hawaii, Elvis turns colour from black and white notes. Blues music, turning black and blue into bruises. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Hazy horizons separating blue sky from blue seas. Blue as the day she or he left. Bluer when she or he returned. Blue velvet, where images, toxic, noxious, bumblebees, suburbs, grass. Blue man group, who is beneath? Why multiples touring? I am blue, Monet blue. Purples and pinks kiss me. You are blue, Magritte blue. Apples and bowler hats. Blue as swimming pool David Hockney. Blue as Jeffrey Smart. Mirror sea blue. Wave blue, reflecting blue. How can you be so blue? So many ways to watch these waves of blue. Sit on the horizon and feel blue. Sky blue. Watch this apple world from space. It is a blue planet, the only one with potable water. It defines us. We are loved by blue. More than the man in the moon. Blue calls you to oceans, seas, creeks, rivers, pools. Dive in. You will become blue in time. Your time is blue. Unless you are red. Well red. Blood red. Rose red. Red tablecloths in dark chocolate restaurants, glass gift kisses shatter and split, greeting card romance, brittle candy bite deep, vampires morph into zombies, movies munch popcorn, mess in the back seat. Eat, lovers, chew on this, consumption, disease, holes in eyes, watch movies with holes in plot lines, everywhere illusion, marketplace of hearts and wallets dripping on red blood sales lines. By now, before you wake up in the morning with a stranger and that stranger is you. Before you take yourself out and take yourself to bed, seduce yourself, break up with yourself, break down and cry in the shower instead with a half-open box of chocolates, half devoured, flowers, red, strewn everywhere. Your hair, wild weeds, your eyes full of soap opera tears, TV too loud, remote. Cupid shot his arrows, Saint Valentine is massacred, love is red, well red, bloody well red.
Anger, you say? My anger is like a seam of scarred volcanic rock through pure marble. I was alive when they bombed Hiroshima. Atomic testing continued in the Pacific all through my youth. No one came in from the Cold War. Vietnam demoralized the Western way. The list is too long. Oh, the shock and awe, resulting in depletion of species, oceanic acidification and plastic pollution, and now coal seam gas. But I work with children, 6 years old and much younger. I met a 2-year-old who had never seen fire. I saw Leon dance as soon as he could walk while playing the flute on a stick. I see children who sell their art and craft before it dries, and 2-year-olds grunge singing before they have a vocabulary. Those big wide eyes live on a drug-free island where the theme song is, "Don't worry, be happy." So I don't, and I am.
Imagine, if you will, that all the headlines of newspapers could be reduced to poetry. And by poetry, I mean Fukushima poetry. I'm talking about tsunami, I'm talking about earthquakes, and of course, the wonderful haiku. The reason haiku exists is because Japanese people are very small, and they have to fit a lot of them on one page. So that's why they made small people in Japan, and all the poetry is for small people. They follow the traditional 3 lines. 1 to the dole office, 1 to the funeral parlor, and the next to the Shinto temple. The 3rd line, of course, doesn't rhyme. Neither do the 1st or the 2nd. And that's why it's a haiku. If it were a low ku, it would be a rhyming couplet. That rhymes, but there's only 2 lines because they couldn't afford the 3rd one. There is a recession in Japan at the moment, and they can't afford many extra lines, which is why the zoo has only got tigers. But that's nothing to do with haiku. These are the headlines in haiku for you. Gay black woman pope. Benedict turns in his grave. He does not have one. Russian meteor. Good news. Just like IBM, fixing up Windows. North Korea bomb goes off like its leaders do, short and short-fused too. Kathmandu Buddhists burn to escape Chinese. Tibet, gambling. Bin Laden's killer has no health insurance now from the Taliban. Stop sex trafficking. Children do not understand why adults exploit. Asteroid attack. Near-Earth objects, NEOs, spin in close orbits. What can we do then? Nowhere to fly away to. We live on a rock. Time has come to love. If we cannot, then we die. Prepare for the end.
Stick around a few minutes. Let me do this first. I know, and there's no bad words in this. I haven't done this in a long time. I'm going to take a little bit drink of my Four Loko first. Then I'm going to sing a song. I wish there was a bass player here. I don't have one. Alright. Anyway, I forget if this has a title, and I don't remember what it is if it does. But I wrote this a couple years ago from the point of view of a young woman from Austin, Texas, whose plan was taking over the world. She was also Aleister Crowley reincarnated as a billionaire, so naturally her plans are kind of arrogant. And I'm finally gonna call my election, and I didn't vote for reason override. And I swear I will, for our true love's protection, with my red lit blades get to the church in time. I won't make such a mess in all directions, then I will raise hell in others all the same. And I'm finally using my divine connections, shedding evil blood in a rapture to my rage. And I see the world unfolding bright and clear now, and I feel a plan of action taking shape. And their reason's still infected with rigid fear now. And these are the very chains my will's gonna break. And I speak my word with the hand of the magician, and I write it in the voice of some wild beast. I whisper hope with passion and with a vision, but my whisper rises into a laughing scream. Well, I'm not fucking kidding, I mean every word I say. You just don't know the half of it, what their words have wasted away. How dare they shake your confidence? How dare they make you bleed? How dare they claim God had to be wounded so you could be redeemed? I make no promises of your salvation. And I don't demand dominion over your soul. We're all just playing God in this creation. We've a right to claim the stage and fill the role. And I do not offer sinners consolation. And I refuse to cry for the victims or the vain. And I don't give a damn for churches or mosques or nations. These structures will all crumble in my way. And I'm clearing up the stench of the old religion. And I'm bleeding that old crucifixion dry. Now bringing in to history and division. Create a new world order born out of fire. I'll eat the hearts of monsters and deceivers. And I'll blind the prophets with my flaming wings. And I'll scatter the acolytes and the true believers. And I'll bring the fear of the gods back to the fiends. I'm ready to bring Armageddon, and I'm fairly sure I will. I can smell the desperation of the slavers who have sinned. How dare they say that you're gonna burn if you refuse to heed their law? My law is still, do what you will, and it's a fairer law by far.
Whoa. Damn.
If there's anyone out there still watching or listening, I'd like to apologize. So we gather in a circle, make that an ellipsis, with each line responded to by those choosing to be actually present. Forget the cigarettes and alcohol. Ignore the traffic noise that drowned our sounds. Lean forward. Incline your eyes and ears to find the thread of conversation of our lives in common tonight. Circles, spirals versus squares, and rectangular skylines swallow us. We are small as bird chatter, leaves in this human forest. Coffee fuel, we cover war and peace, action and passivity, in song and lines from page and mind. Each game came and gave and stayed and left. It was a human race tuning in again. Every night a mic is opened, and free speech, freedom of assembly, becomes reality in action, more than fantasy in flight. Poetry festival starting in a week's time, and in that time there'll be a macabre reading here on the Friday night, the 12th. And they want to explore darkness, so I wrote this called Space Beyond, Space Beyond, Space Beyond Space. It took our times to find the dark side. Black holes, dark matter. Sci-fi defines our projections upon black and antimatter. Buck Rogers, Star Wars, Star Trek, Galaxy Quest, children's serials screened for matinee sessions. Meanwhile, weapons in space, spy satellites, lasers, atomic and hydrogen bombs, too many missiles pointing from Cold War to hot Fukushima. All fantasies become real. We have split the atom and ourselves. Eden as Sargasso, myths of flight, a Challenger space shuttle privatized. Richard Branson owns the moon and will take tourists for a virgin. Icarus, a brand name on NASA merchandising. The more we see, the less we are. When you wish upon a dark star, Walt Disney melts on ice. Disney World meets pirates in space. What we project we will become. Star Trek conventions, plastic figurines. The distance between being and nothingness. Philosophers stone to create concepts to deal with perennials. their pain, their suffering, their loneliness, their death. While ordinary folk just get along and get on with it. Folk wisdom wakes while we are deep sleeping, gathers as we turn solitary, celebrates even these darkest hours, looks forward rather than backward, finds dark humour in every sarcophagus. Death is simply forgetting. Rememberers know this and enchant. The past is a Potemkin village, no one lives there. The present is a gift, hold it, then release. Flowers burst forth from the gardens within you. What grows is truth, what perfects is harmony. Between sorrows we knit tomorrows, from the stitched blanket of despair and make new theories to rationalize all our fears. Thank you, Shadrach, for making this possible. Thank you, Scott, for giving us the final words.
We're here. When you close your eyes, what do you see? When your lids go quiet and you look into that dark place that's within, it is a hollow and open woods to me. And I have to admit, many times it is eons prior to now when there was no man. Yet there was still us. And whether we were dinosaurs curled up to our mothers, and whether we were simple acorns in the soil, growing into a thick woods. We are coming to a time when the eyes will close, but we must still see. There is a clearing in the forest, and in it, children are singing and playing, and some sleep. The woods can grow so quiet on a cold, dark night that all you see is yourself. But if you listen, there is a huge world out there where people want to hear your quiet. There is a cold, dark woods, and we are not in it alone. Listen carefully, and the world hums to you in your dreams.
Hey. Thank you, Bob. Beautiful.
Thanks, Shadrach. May
Thank
all
you.
good wishes follow your grandmother.
Thank you.
That's Saturday night, March 30th, 2013, Full English Cafe, signing off. Hope somebody heard it, and if you did, thank you for listening. We love you no matter what. Bye-bye. There you go. My butt does it.
Awesome.
Huh? I didn't record what we were doing. There's a way to dump the file, which I might do.
You said jump.
There's a way to dump the file.
You said file.
There's a way to dump the vial. There's a way to dump the vial. No, there is a way to dump the
Dump the
file.
vial?
But I think if I dump the file, it makes
Vial?
And apparently, nice to know, it's wrong in that it can only record 50 something minutes. It's recording 3 hours.
Stop looking at me, Jeremy.
It was donated.
Awesome.
So how much?
So I'm closing up shop. Stop the camera and this camera.
Look right into it. It's perfect angles.
Yeah. Like I went off air and then I got back on air for you to do your piece, and I have it up there, so I'll give you a copy of what you did. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. And I did the whole thing. Apparently fit on my 4 gigabyte drive, so I'm psyched. Okay, this one can go off. Next time I'm gonna try to dump on the file. I'd like the audio over. We'll try it again.
Okay.
Okay, turn the camera off. Turn that camera off as a physical.
Wait,
Go.
can I try something? Wait, can I do something?
Take to the ground, guys.
Can I try something? Oh God, what did I just do?
You didn't do anything. I did it, guys.
Okay, you.
Yeah, maybe you did do something. You're hitting the legs, guys. Watch out for the legs. If you want me to take it down, I can. Hang on a second. Wait a second. Y'all can go play. Do y'all want to use it? Just don't drop it, okay?
I want to use it. What?
I don't know. Here you go.
Use it. Oh, that.
Oh yeah.